Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
See you on the plane.
Donald Trump and his top officials have pushed back on a leaked intelligence report that says US strikes on Iran only set its nuclear program back by a few months. Speaking at NATO's summit in The Hague, Mr. Trump said the strikes led to the virtual obliteration of Iran's nuclear capabilities. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the preliminary Pentagon assessment was made with low confidence and the FBI was investigating the cause of the leak.
Actually, the report said it could have been they don't know. I mean, they did a report. I could have Pete talk to it because his department did the report. They really don't know. I think Israel's going to be telling us very soon because Bibi is going to have people involved in that whole situation. We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration.
The amount of munitions, 6 per location. Any assessment that tells you it was something otherwise is speculating with other motives. And we know that because when you actually look at the report, by the way, it was a top secret report, it was preliminary, it was low confidence. All right, so this isn't, you make assessments based on what you know.
They said it could be very devastating, very serious.
Moderate to severe, and we believe far more likely severe and obliterating.
All right, good afternoon, everyone.
NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte has said that there is no alternative to the 32 member states spending more on defence, given the threat from Russia and the broader international security situation. The leaders of the Western Defensive Alliance have gathered in The Hague, where they are set to commit to spending 5% of national output on defence and related infrastructure.
We have just concluded the formal part of the NATO summit in The Hague. Of course, there will be many other meetings later today and this afternoon. And together, allies have laid the foundations for a stronger, fairer and more lethal NATO. NATO leaders agreed on the The Hague Defence Investment Plan. And this will fuel a quantum leap in our collective defence.
It always seems impossible until it is done.
A young left-wing candidate, Zoran Mamdani, is poised to become the Democratic nominee for New York mayor after delivering a stunning political upset. The 33-year-old Democratic Socialist declared victory in the party's primary, defeating his main rival and political veteran, Andrew Cuomo.
He ran a highly impactful campaign.
Mr. Cuomo was attempting to pull off a comeback after resigning from office in 2021 over a sexual harassment scandal. He congratulated his opponent for a really smart and great campaign.
And thank him for his campaign.
They want to kill us. You see what they did to us?
Police have fired tear gas as thousands of Kenyans marched through Nairobi and other cities. The protests are in honour of those killed in a huge anti-tax demonstration a year ago today. There is a huge deployment of police in Nairobi and other major cities. The government repeatedly ordered TV stations to halt live coverage. Schools and businesses have been closed for fear of violence. Eurostar passengers are facing a second day of severe delays after 2 people died on the railway track in France and then cables were stolen. The high-speed rail operator has told passengers to cancel or postpone their trips, with a number of services cancelled and delayed on routes serving London, Paris, Brussels and Amsterdam. 2 people died in separate incidents on the LGV Nord high-speed line between Lille and Paris on Tuesday, closing the line for much of the day. Protesters in Venice are claiming an enormous victory after the US tech billionaire Jeff Bezos and his wedding guests were forced to leave the city centre, moving their main celebration to another location. Protesters were arguing if he could afford to rent a large part of Venice for his wedding party, he should pay more in taxes. A local official in Venice has now confirmed the guests will gather further from the city centre.
1, ignition, and lift.
And Indians have been celebrating the successful launch of the Axiom 4 mission, which has taken off with a multi-country crew, including an Indian astronaut. Group Captain Shabanshu Shukla, who's piloting the mission, has become only the second Indian to travel to space. His trip comes 41 years after cosmonaut Rakesh Sharma became the first Indian to fly to space aboard a Russian Soyuz in 1984. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.